is going to be coming from Saudi Arabia. That is what everyone's kind of talking about in the wrestling world right now. This news kind of dropping by the looks of it by about half an hour ago, 40 minutes ago. I don't think it was that long ago. So news kind of coming through about that. So that we can talk about if you want to talk about that. If you want to talk about something else, we can talk about something else. Glockness said I might go and pop my... Do you know, I was really surprised that not more people were talking about that. I can only imagine that they heard it and just heard neck straight away. I did not. And it seems like a lot of other people didn't either. I mean, I'm pretty sure he will have said neck, right? But to be honest with you, it was only when someone mentioned that words that I could even start hearing anything other than what I thought it was. At the end of yesterday's NXT, Booker, right, as Tiffany made her way out, said, oh man, I'm going to have to pop my... And it does sound like D. I mean, it does sound like the D word, right? And I could not hear anything else. I couldn't make a defense that he was saying anything else. It was only when I had put my reaction thing up and someone said, I'm pretty sure he's saying neck. Then I was like, is he? And blue. Others saw white and gold. I saw white and gold. I've never seen that dress as black and blue. I have never seen that dress as black and blue. I only see white and gold. That was like an internet meme, wasn't it? From like 10 years ago that kind of did the rounds. There was this weird dress and people was looking at the same picture and seeing completely different colors. If you haven't looked into that, look into that. It's mental. Mental. But this was similar with Booker saying about, I need to pop my... And then the word that follows, I think whatever you think of, if you think neck, you can hear neck. If you think D, you can hear D. And yeah, Walt, just Walt. But I was shocked at how few people were talking about it. I was really shocked by the fact that people just didn't seem to be too bothered. I was going down my list of accounts that I follow, and it was just no one was talking about it. So it must be that we've just got dirty minds. Everyone else just heard neck and we were here going, oh, can't believe it. So there we go. That's the latest on all of that. Edwards, hello. Edwards, becoming a supporter of the channel. I appreciate that, my friends. I'm just talking to Edwards and the members on the member stream. Pretty fun member stream tonight. Got to do a little bit of your videos, kind of looking into kind of, you know, what the members wanted to send in. So thought that was pretty fun. Okay, Kian, hello, said Daze, hope you are well, having a great day. I enjoyed NXT last night. Thanks for letting me show an update video. Jenna Mother liked my Jenna Ortega fan account post earlier. Oh, what? Jenna's actual mother liked your fan account post. I think we're still okay, right? But we're starting to get into sort of creepy territories. Yeah. I mean, I hope you didn't like tag her mother or anything like that. I mean, this is where it can start getting a bit dark. This is where it can start going a bit too far. So if she just noticed it and saw it, that's okay. But if you're like tagging in family members, then that's where we might start to have a word. So, Kian, shout out to you, my friends. Shout out to you. Hasib said, Daze, do we think that Mania in Saudi will be the biggest? Because we'll get Roman probably. Ambrose return. His contract is up in 27. Seth Punk, Cody Orton, probably all the legends will be there. I mean, it could be. I mean, the Saudis will certainly throw money at it. Money's not going to be a problem, is it? So it could be in that regards. I honestly don't know what excitement there is going to be out there, though. This is, I don't think, news that's going to be very well received. I just did a little short on it And I can only really reiterate the point I said in that short, which is the majority of WWE fans, first and foremost, are in America. If you look at like TV views for Raw, you can see that actually the rest of the world, I don't even think quite makes up the views that they get in America. America is the lion's share of the views. So taking WrestleMania away from North America is a big move. I think that for the longest time, if that was going to happen, I think we all thought it would be London. It would be Wembley. That's probably not too bad for our American friends to get to if they want to attend, get on a plane, go to the UK. I mean, I've been to America many times, been fortunate enough to go to Florida many times. So getting on a plane, going to London, not ideal, but not the end of the world. Getting on a plane and going to Saudi Arabia. I mean, it's going to be a very different feel, Saudi Arabia. It's going to have a lot less Americans there than any Mania we will have seen before. So it's going to have a different feel. Don't know what the fan base is like in Saudi Arabia. I mean, we're not selling out 80,000 stadiums. I don't even know what they've got. I don't even know if they've got an 80,000 stadium over there. I mean, we're going to have to do a hell of a lot of work, aren't we, to try and get people to go to Saudi Arabia. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, that's where my head's at rather than are we going to get Rock Roman and things like that. I mean, I think you could get Rock Roman anytime. I don't know that this guarantees the match. You might end up getting in next year. If it really comes down to the Rock schedule on that one. Roman will be at WrestleMania. And I think it's just down to if The Rock is available. The one thing I will say is that Saudi Arabia are not short of money. And I would imagine they will throw money at this to make it the biggest, they can absolutely make it. So, yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a great payday for a lot of people. And I'm sure it could bring in a lot of legends. But I don't know. I think you might struggle to find people that are kind of thinking along those lines at this point. That might be one for a bit further down the road. I think at the moment people are still like, Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania. Like, oh my God. I don't know who's going to want to go. I don't know who's going to jump on a plane. That's a lot of the fan base that's just not going to go now. And how many fans have they got around Saudi Arabia? They're going to have to rely on people. It's the whole point in doing it, isn't it? The whole reason that you do this is so that you get people to come to your country. That's the whole reason that you do it, for tourism. And so you are trying to convince people to jump on a plane and come over. How's that going to work as well? Because I've got to imagine the tickets will be expensive. Unless Saudi just take the hit. Maybe there could be a positive, and that positive might be that Saudi Arabia take the hit. Saudi Arabia take the hit. Ticket prices are very good because they know people have got to pay for flights and hotels. I mean, you've normally got to pay for a flight and a hotel, whatever WrestleMania you go to. But this is a hell of a journey for a lot of people, isn't it? This is going to be a costly flight, more expensive than usual. So I wonder if Saudi will make some sort of an effort to make sure that ticket prices are kept reasonable. Don't know. It's all emerging news, isn't it? Just breaking through now. So I'm not down on the people of the fans of Saudi Arabia getting the show. I mean, I have no issue with them. So, I'm pleased for them, but I don't know, man. WrestleMania, there is no bigger show, is there? That is literally the crown jewel. You are giving them the biggest show you could possibly give them. And I don't know that I've seen that they've got a stadium big enough. Unless we're just going to do it in one of those kind of 30, 40,000 arenas. But I don't know. I like it being in a big 80,000 stadium, personally. I don't really want to go back to like arenas and things like that. So, don't know. Some big questions need to be answered there. Like, where's it going to be held? What's the attendance going to be? How many people are they hoping are going to fly in? Are Saudi Arabia going to help with ticket prices, or are they just going to go out of control again? And then you've got the travel and you got the hotel. Oh, yeah, I think people are trying to wrap their heads around that. Mohammed, hello, my friends, said, love Raw and SmackDown streams, but we'll have to miss the Raw stream because of jobs clashing. But I'm not worried since the Talking Points video and Unseen's are great. Well, Mohammed, thank you, my friends. I'm pleased you enjoy those videos. I didn't get an Unseen up yesterday because, I mean, you lot are good at tagging me in little fun bits and things for the community folder and things like that, but there just wasn't enough interesting stuff. I think fun folder is fine. I mean, it's, you know, it's probably the folder I enjoy the most, but it's not really the folder that I think people click on the video for. So news was just really quiet yesterday. It was really quiet. I think most of the big stories that happened were the things that went down on NXT. The fact that we had Tyler Breeze, the fact that we had Rhea Ripley showing up, and the Booker comments. Like, I feel like those were the big stories of the day. So, yeah, I don't want to put a video out that's, you know, under par. So just let it cook for a little bit longer. Just needs a little longer in the oven. So with the WrestleMania news today, that'll do. So, yeah, once we're done with Evolve, we will definitely get an Unseen out tonight. But, yeah, hopefully people still enjoyed the NXT Talking Points video because, to be honest, I think that had the big talking points from the day in it. So, yeah, I enjoy those. I like those videos. I'm pleased you like them as well. Porky Pig said the greed that TKO has to publicly state that they're going to increase the WWE ticket prices because they don't bring the same amount of money as UFC is crazy. Johnny said you're cutting a little bit in and out. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why that's happening. It might be a YouTube glitch. Am I on the right thing? I am on the right thing. Don't know. You'll have to let me know if there's any audio issues. There shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. There really is no reason for there not for there to be audio issues. So you'll have to let me know. Just refresh, said Tom. Oh, okay. If that's if it's a refresh thing, then it's because of YouTube. James said, have you popped your D? Oh, I do that before every stream. Just gets me in the right mood. Mr. Dell Jr. said, I know that you're not very political, but what are your thoughts about the Charlie Kirk passing, about him being shot at the Utah Valley? My thoughts are, it's not wrestling related. Those are my thoughts. Obviously that is the big story that's all over social media, and definitely thoughts with his family. Yeah. I mean, I actually don't know much about him because I don't engage in that kind of world. So I actually don't know a great deal about him, but hence why it's not a conversation I can really have. So we have to tread quite careful when it comes to wrestling topics. You know, there's like Vince things we have to tread careful. I don't need to be treading careful on political topics. So thoughts with his family. Wrestle Andy said, Daze, the people in New Orleans are rolling over in their grave right now. Yeah, they were meant to get it, weren't they? And then it got moved to Las Vegas. So they were meant to get it next year. They didn't. Vegas got it. So we know we're going to Vegas next year, and now the year after we're going to Saudi Arabia. I tell you, the thing I don't know is how often are we going to Saudi Arabia, because this might not be a one-off. It might not be a one-off. We might not be going to Saudi Arabia just once. We know that Saudi Arabia have got money, right? They are going to be able to kind of outbid anyone for WrestleMania pretty much every year. The one thing I will say about Saudi Arabia is I think they are very aware of the public image. They are trying to use their money to boost tourism, and so they are trying to find a way of getting people to go to the country. Now, if you upset a load of people, That's not a brilliant way of getting them to come to your country. So actually what we've seen with boxing is they're now starting to hold fights at Wembley and in Madison Square Garden. And they're trying to do a bit of a Riyadh season away from Riyadh. They're trying to kind of get other people to experience great fights in their own country without having to go to Saudi Arabia. And that's like some goodwill, really. It's kind of like, hey, we've funded this, and we could have took it to Saudi Arabia, but we haven't. You enjoy it here, you know? I mean, if they want to do that with giving London WrestleMania, you know, just saying, that would be lovely. They could do that. Why don't they fund WrestleMania for a few places? I don't know why London hasn't just outright bid for it. I mean, we're one of the best economies in the world. I know we don't have loads of spare cash, though, right? We're one of the best economies in the world, but we've got big debt, and there's obviously a lot of like social programs that eat up a lot of money, and we're trying to increase our spending on defense and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I don't know that we're drowning in free spare cash. Don't know. I have no idea why London has not just flipping put a bid in. But either way, Saudi Arabia has. Big question is, how often are we going to be going back there now? Because this might not just be a one-time thing. Because they can easily outbid people year after year after year after year. Asib said people are going to complain, but when we get to it, they'll get excited. When the cards are announced, people criticised the World Cup in Qatar. Once the tournament got going, people were calling it the greatest. Yeah, I mean, I think we're at that point, though, where people are digesting the news. So the news only broke about half an hour ago. It still hasn't been officially announced. So, you know, people are trying to digest how they sort of feel about it. I mean, I'm not crazy about it. I don't have any ill will towards the WWE fans in Saudi Arabia. I think they've shown themselves to be really great, actually. You know, do you remember at first when we had a lot of rich people in the front rows, and it just really hurt the atmosphere and the perception, and I think like it just was a bad look. We changed that, and we had like real fans in the front rows that were really into the product. Whenever we do that sort of press conference, that kickoff show, the fans are always chanting and making noise, you know, and cheering for their favorites. Like, a WWE fan is a WWE fan, whether they're in America, if they're in Saudi Arabia, if they're in Japan, if they're in Australia. And it's just great to see all those people get an opportunity to watch WWE live. So it's no shade on any of those people, but yeah, you can't ignore the fact that the lion's share of fans are in America. So I sort of feel like, okay, Royal Rumble was a pretty big step, giving that to Saudi Arabia. We haven't even seen how that's been received. That's what's crazy to me. I mean, if we had done the Royal Rumble show and it had been deemed a big success and everyone loved it and it was full of praise and, oh yeah, that was great, then wouldn't you look at WrestleMania? The fact that we've just gone, yeah, they've got it already. We haven't even done Royal Rumble. So far, we've just given them like B shows, which have been okay. I mean, they've been okay. I mean, they could have been booked better. It wasn't really their fault. It's just they've been all right. I don't want to say skippable, but they certainly have not been WrestleMania. And so, yeah, now like we're giving them Royal Rumble, but we haven't even, I mean, we're still months away from the Rumble. And now we've already decided we're going to give them WrestleMania. It's clearly, I mean, you know it, I know it, we all know it's money. It's money. Money makes the world go round. So I just hope it's not a bad decision. I certainly hope they don't give them another one without seeing how this one goes. See how this one goes first. See how many people are willing to travel. See what the temperature's like online and what the consensus is. I mean, you're going to have a lot of disappointed kids that are going to have wanted to have gone that certainly aren't going to be making their way over to Saudi Arabia. So, I don't know. It's not one that I'm giddy about. But, yeah, of course people will get excited for it when we get close to it. People want to enjoy WrestleMania. So as we get closer to it, people will, and I think anyone that's going to fall into that trap of being like, I'm not going to watch, and then end up watching, I mean, you're just going to make yourself look a bit silly. So I've not subscribed to that. I've not done that. I'm not saying anything like that. I'll be watching in 2027. But yeah, I can think of a pretty good list of places I'd rather be going in 2027. London would be one. Jamie said Tommy Dreamer was going to do the same to Paul Heyman at WrestleMania 17. That would have been crazy. I think I walked in halfway there. Big Time said, Daze, WrestleMania in Saudi could be the least watched Mania. This could potentially kill hype and buzz for the 2027 Mania season. Well, I mean, look, if you're WWE, you have to know that these concerns are out there. I mean, as soon as the news was announced, I didn't even I didn't speak to you guys. I didn't even read the reaction. And I knew, just as you would know, this is controversial, right? Going to Saudi Arabia is controversial, but this is controversial, like actually giving them WrestleMania. First time leaving North America. So, yeah, it's controversial. It's definitely a financially motivated one, and I think that you really do have to factor a lot of things in when you make a decision like this. So if you are going to agree to this, you've got to know that there's going to be a lot of people that can't travel. You've got to know where the venue is and how many people you need to try and get, and you've got to know that you're going to need a real amazing card, aren't you? I mean, you are going to need to have an amazing card for this thing. This cannot be like a Crown Jewel or, one of those kind of super showdown type shows. I mean, this has got to be something that's going to make people get on a plane. Just like how WrestlePalooza has made people like sign up to ESPN. AJ Lee's first match back, like they're going to have to do whatever they can to get people, but we're so far removed from that. It's so far down the road that at this point people are just going to be like, oh, don't love that news. So I expect to see a lot of that online. I think you'll see that throughout 2026, to be honest. I don't think that'll change. But yeah, as you get closer to it, then they're going to have to try and convince you to tune in and go. And I don't know. It's really hard to say how it's going to affect things, isn't it? We don't know. What I do know is that they surely know that this is controversial, and they surely are going to start putting a few penciled plans in place for what that card should look like. Mohammed said, Daze, why are we not putting Steph and Julia on TV on a regular basis? Make them have separate storylines and feuds to develop their characters. Both, or is it both don't need it? I don't think there's big panic, to be honest with you. I don't panic about Stephanie and Julia. I think Stephanie and Julia are great talents. I think they're talents for the future. I think it's right that you just take your time to just kind of find the right way forward, the right feuds. The thing with Stephanie was that she won the Battle Royal at Evolution. The problem with that was that won her a title shot at Clash in Paris. Now, the gap between Evolution and Clash in Paris was quite wide. So it kind of was meant that she couldn't really get into any feuds because she's got this big title match coming up. But equally, she's got to just sort of wait a little bit. So I think there's been a little bit in the kind of booking. I don't think it's right that you win at Evolution and then get a title shot so far down the road, right? But she did. And then, of course, to make things really frustrating, we get to Clash in Paris and Naomi is pregnant. And so the match is off. And so we don't even do the match. And now we're clearly using Io, Stephanie, winner gets the belt, as another way of getting people to tune in to ESPN. So I think some people online might look at Stephanie and they might go, why are we messing around with her? But the truth is, she's won a battle royal and got herself a world title opportunity very, very quickly. Very quickly. It's hard to say she's being buried. You know, it's just a situation where she had to wait for that title opportunity. And when she got to it, Naomi was pregnant. Who could foresee that? Who could foresee that? So, and now they're using Stephanie EO as a way of convincing you to get ESPN and watch WrestlePalooza. So, Stephanie, I'd say there's no concerns, right? We was meant to do a contract signing this week on Raw, didn't do it. And then she turns up on NXT. I wonder if there was a travel issue because she seemed fine. She might have had a knock as well, and it might be she just needs like a week to recover. Might be that she, you know, wasn't able to be at Raw, but she can cut a quick promo on NXT, setting some up for next week. So there's no word as to what happened, why she was not at Raw but was at NXT. And part of me thinks it could be something to do with travel. Travel probably the front runner. You know, misconnection, flight delays, not going to make it in time. But she, I think, probably lives in Orlando. And so as a result, it was easy for her to get to NXT. So I don't think there's any conspiracy there. I don't think there's a problem there. In regards to Julia, I think that's a little different. You know, we very quickly got her to the mid-card title. I mean, she came in, and I think her first feud was with Zelina, where she wins the mid-card championship. So she gets to that mid-card title. Then I think they were like, right, we need to get her a mouthpiece. So you see Kiana James kind of talking with Julia, and so we're kind of putting them two together. And yeah, we've just had to wait a little bit for her to kind of have a match. I mean, you could have Julia kind of go out there, but I don't think her English is very good. So now that she's got Kiana, maybe we can start to tell some stories. But I mean, she had a match the other day against Michin. We know that Nikki Cross is around. So, I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of people in this day and age are just really, really impatient. Like, they've got to be seeing these people every single week. And if they're not seeing them every week, then they get, like, really impatient. I don't have that. I actually prefer not seeing everyone every week. I don't think you should see everyone every week. I think that leads to overexposure. I think if Julia is on the show, that should be special. It should be special that Julia is on the show. It should be special if Roman is on the show. And it is, because he's not on the show every week. So when Roman's on, it's special. When John Cena is on, it's special. And there is really no reason why that can't extend down the card. Like, we've got more wrestlers than we do TV time. So, I mean, there's no reason as to why you can't kind of rotate rounds and have people in and then miss a week and come back a week later. So with Julia and Stephanie, I'm really chilled on it. I think for me, for Stephanie, we know she's having the match at WrestlePalooza. That's absolutely fine. It's going to be her against EO. Absolutely fine. In regards to Julia, she's the champ and she needs to defend every 30 days. So as long as she defends every 30 days, then I'm okay with that. There's lots of times where that doesn't happen. There's lots of times where you can go back in title reigns and it's like they actually defended every 40 odd days or every 50 days. And I would say, no, that's not right. They should defend that belt. That belt should be defended 12 times a year, whatever belt it is. 12 times. I don't think that's too much to ask. In pro wrestling, I don't think that's too much to ask, right? Where you defend it 12 times a year. I'm even all right with some of those defenses being on Raw. I don't know about live events. I don't know if you can count live events because, of course, we don't see those. But I think, I don't know, it's an interesting conversation, that one. It's an interesting conversation. But I don't think 12 times a year is too much. And I have no problem with, like, it doesn't have to be that they're on every single PLE. I'm okay with it being a case that, maybe you go to NXT and defend it. Maybe you jump down to NXT and give someone an opportunity. That would count. That would be fine. Defend it every 30 days. That's what I look for. So she might be just outside of that. I don't know. From the moment she won it to the moment that she's defending it, that could be much longer than 30 days. But who knows? The next defense after might be 15 days. We're not really going to know until it runs over. How long did she have the belt for? How many title defenses did she have? That'll tell you how many days on average she defended it. So if it is a little bit kind of stretched out right now, it's not the end of the world. It's fine. I'm pretty chilled about it. There's no alarm bells ringing in my head. But yeah, that's actually something that we get mentioned quite a lot. I sort of feel like people are really desperate to see these two. I don't really understand why. I don't really I don't have any issue with them, but I don't really understand why people are so worried. It feels all under control to me. It feels like we're doing stuff with them. I know they're okay. I know they're not just sat in catering lost. And if we don't see them for a week or two, that's fine. Perhaps it's because that's not how it normally is, Perhaps it's a case that people are just so used to seeing these stars week in, week out, that if they're not seen week in, week out, then it feels like something's wrong. Mohammed said they are great. I think people right now watch them on their beauty, not wrestling. They must be shown as dominant. That will help them to be strong competitors, says Mohammed. Colton said, I think Stephanie wasn't at Raw because she was needed for NXT. Raw was in Wisconsin. Maybe the travel just wasn't worth it. Well, maybe. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was a case that, getting to Wisconsin, I don't know where that is. I couldn't point to that on a map. So maybe getting there and then having to get back for NXT was a bit too difficult. You could absolutely be correct. Asib said, what do we think's going on with Shinsuke? Yeah, haven't heard anything on Shinsuke. I saw footage of him and Gunther about a month or so ago. They went out for dinner and Shinsuke had a bit to drink. And, he seemed in great spirits. I think they probably just don't have anything for him, is probably the truth. I'm not aware of any injury or anything. But I think that they are probably just kind of done with Shinsuke. I think they like Shinsuke. I don't think they're looking to necessarily release him. But, I don't know. Things don't look great for whenever his contract's going to expire, does it? I think Shinsuke, I don't know why they just hesitated so much. Perhaps he needed a mouthpiece. They tried a few things, putting Rick Boogs with him and whatever, but he was never the priority, was he? They did give him the Rumble win and did give him the title match with AJ at WrestleMania 34. But, outside of that, he was, he had a really bad pandemic run and after. Just really flat and has gone missing for great periods of time. Pop up, do a feud, go away again. So I just think for the longest time he's not been the priority. And I'm not, as I said, I'm not aware of there being any injury issues or anything. Big Time said safer bet would be for TKO to do 2 WrestleManias, one in the US in April, one in the fall. I feel like it's a PR nightmare waiting to happen, making Mania in Saudi for April, says Big Time. Mr. B said, Days and chatters, I've lost a friend today. I'm going to take a day or days of self-care. Remember, everyone, treasure life and that you are loved. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that, Mr. B. Mr. B, shout out to you, buds. Very sorry to hear that news. And yeah, good advice, that. Trini said, I'm okay with how they've presented Stephanie. Julia's not had enough TV time, in my opinion. I can't get her over without matches because that's where she shines. Yeah, they'll come, though. She'll have matches. She had one the other day against Meacham. Didn't really do it, to be honest. But I mean, she had a TV match the other day, and I don't think you have to wait that long for the next one. And we know that Nikki was around, so this is what I'm saying. I'm quite chilled with it. I mean, she's the champ. She's got the belt. I mean, they're not going to forget about her. They've put her with Kiana, and you never know what else is going on behind the scenes, do you? I mean, you never know if they were meant to do something and it fell through. You don't know the knock-on effects of the Naomi situation and blah, 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 you know? So that's why, again, if people feel like she should have been on TV, perhaps there's a match missing that she should have had. But again, maybe there was one scheduled. I'm not at the point where there's alarm bells ringing. I'm not at the point where it's like, what are we doing? Oh my God, we're dropping the ball. Like, to be honest, I don't even feel like we've got started with her. I don't even feel like we've got started. I still feel like most people don't even know what Julia's all about. They've seen her a few times on the main roster. She's won a belt really early. And Trini's absolutely right. Like, where she's going to shine is obviously not in her promos. It's in her matches. So, you know, let's get those ducks in order. Let's get some great feuds, which I don't know would be Nikki, to be honest. But let's get us some really good, credible opponents, and let's get going. I do wonder what Kiana's doing as well, though, because I think Kiana's trying to expand that stable. Seems like she is going around handing out cards. I mean, Michin had a little... She give a card to Jade Cargill. I think Michin took it. Because she was trying to get a title opportunity. So, you know, we know these cards have been getting handed around. I wonder what comes of that as well. So that could be another moving part to this, as maybe Kiana's trying to build a bit of a stable. So I do agree with Trini. Where Julia is going to shine is going to be in her matches. So hopefully they can get some lined up. That match didn't even show a snippet of what Julia can do in the ring. I do agree, though, we don't know the BTS, behind the scenes. Robert said, Daze, I would love to see Breeze return to NXT full-time. Such greater talent. Should never have gone up to the main roster. He was wasted. Got to go up at some point, though, haven't you? Can't stay in NXT forever. NXT is not a brand, it's developmental. I know they tried to present it as a third brand, but it's all about getting people ready for that next step. It's all about being called up. You know, if you go to NXT, you've been moved down. And so it's, you know, about leaving the show that gets 650,000 views and going to the shows that get 1 point whatever million, right? Or, yeah. 2 point some million when it comes to Raw globally. So, I think like you can't stay forever. You've got, and I also think that you don't necessarily keep improving. I think that you can sort of get to a bit of a level where you've kind of learned, not everything you can learn, but the amount of progress you're making slows drastically. Just being in the same environment around a lot of the same people with the same trainers. Like, you know, you kind of, you make this really great progress and then I think it slows. I don't know that Johnny, for example, is like a much better wrestler because he stayed in NXT for as long as what he did rather than getting called up like 5 years earlier, you know. I think that Tyler was going to have to go up at some point, and then it was just going to be down to what did they have for him. And sadly, they didn't really have anything, did they? It was very disappointing. He was a great talent and a decent-sized star in NXT. I mean, we didn't have a mid-card title at that time. If we did, he would have had it. Thankfully, they've brought one in now. And he's going to be competing for it. But I don't think he wins. But yeah, he was a solid hand. Never quite big enough to be the top champ. But upper mid cards. A good hand, a good person to have around. So and then he goes up and he's just completely just lost, isn't he? Just completely. They couldn't figure out what to do with him. Until they put him with Fandango. And then we got Breezango, and then we got the Fashion Files, and I really enjoyed all of that. He did fall into being a comedy character, and I don't know why that didn't stay. I mean, doing comedy is hard. It's hard to be like, you know, genuinely funny and genuinely make people laugh. It's not an easy thing. And so they, I thought, did it very well, like just like R-Truth does it amazing. But I don't know, even that wasn't enough to save them. They end up getting moved back to NXT, don't they? And having a run in NXT and then end up getting cut. And then, of course, Tyler Breeze sticks around, does a few other bits and bobs. I know he does a lot with like Fanatics and the merch side of things. And I think he's done a bit of like stuff at the PC, bit of producing, a bit of this, bit of that. So, yeah, you know, this is him coming back for a one-off performance where I'm sure he'll take the loss, but hopefully should just be a really fun match. So, yeah, that was my favourite reveal yesterday, was seeing Prince Pretty return. I really enjoyed that. Long Beach Hippie, hello, my friends, said, it's 4-4-1. I effed up. Ozzy was sad. Charlie didn't deserve this. What does that mean? 4-4-1? 4-4-1. Jennifer said, it's the 90s where I am again. We had about a week off. False full. Jennifer, hello. Hope you're well. Big Time said, I think the trauma of NXT talent being mishandled by Vince has got fans stressed. It feels like the talent flounder because then the stock goes down and then potential releases. And that might be the worry. Well, maybe you're right. I mean, for me, I just think going from NXT to the main roster is just such a big seismic change that I just naturally give talent time to get settled. I think it's way too early to be worrying about Stephanie and Julia about, you know, I mean, they need to get settled. And by settled, I mean, they've got a whole new locker room that they need to get to know. They've got to start traveling around the United States. They need to figure out who they're riding with and rental cars and the expectations of Triple H on a week in, week out basis. You've got the politics. You know that you're battling for TV time, and you know that there's people that are trying to also get TV time. And so, you know, how does that kind of show itself? I mean, I don't think that is too bad in 2025, but we've all heard stories of like the Miz being kicked out the locker room, being told he had to change in the corridor because he was seen as being an outsider. So you just don't know what the locker room's going to be like. You know, who rides with who are you going to end up riding with? How are you going to get around the United States? You know, traveling around, working with Triple H. And not only that, you're being beamed around the world. I know that NXT gives you a taste of that, but I mean, it's a massive difference. I don't even know if NXT, I mean, it's on Netflix, but I don't know if all the countries get it. And even if they do, what's the viewing figures? Because it's on CW in America. So we know it gets about 650 in America. But I mean, you go to Raw, SmackDown, I mean, those are the flagship shows. And so all of a sudden the pressure is just so much greater. So much greater. And I mean, like, compare the audience in the PC to the size of the audience on Raw and SmackDown. Think about all the media obligations that you just wouldn't have in NXT. Think about the fact you have to change from city to city. And again, you don't do that in NXT. Like, I think the adjustment is absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. I think pretty much every aspect of the job changes, evolves when you go to the main roster. So I think to expect people to be killing it from their very first show and just settled and all that, so that's and then think about the fact that there's a serious language barrier for Julia and Stephanie. and you kind of go, geez Louise. So yeah, I mean, for me, let them get their feet under the table. Let's, try and get a bit of momentum going. I would not have given Julia this belt so soon, but well, they did. And then let's kind of see where we are in a little bit. I mean, honestly, that's my take on it. I mean, I cannot tell you when they got called up. Was it just after Mania? When they got called up? Was it the Raw after Mania? I mean, whatever it is, it's been a few months. And one of them's got a belt and the other one's going to be fighting for the women's world title, So it's like, I'm just really chill about it all. It's really no drama to me. I'm not worried about them losing their jobs or anything like that. So, yeah, let's get them settled. Let's get them some feuds and matches lined up. We know when Stephanie's got hers. Julia just had one. I'm not sure when her next one's going to be. Maybe we find out on Friday and take it from there. Yeah, pretty chilled about it. James said, William's been trying to tell you that Dave has sent a DM. Dave has sent a DM. Okay. Is this one that I need to look at now? Or... okay. I hadn't seen that, so I will get back. Let Dave know. Apologies, I hadn't seen it. I think he knows that. And I will get back to him as soon as the stream is done. So I'm gonna write it on my jobs list. Okay. Thank you. Big Time said, Daze, I would say that have wrestling on TV more, get them more familiar with fans, have them trade wins and losses with the big names. Stephanie's had a match over 2 months. That won't get her over. Well, I mean, look, for me, I think that having them travel to the different arenas, having them work. I mean, I don't know if she's been doing main event matches. I mean, without going to cage match, I'm not sure what they've been getting them doing. I mean, if it's a case that for 2 months she's been sat at home, I completely agree. Of course I agree. That's not going to help anyone, right? But is that what's been happening? Let's have a look. Okay, so she was on NXT in May. Let's have a look. Bang, bang, bang. So she was on NXT in May, all right? Then on the 12th of May, she was in a tag match against Io and Rhea. Then on the 23rd, she was on SmackDown. Then on the 6th, she wrestled on SmackDown. Then she was at Money in the Bank. She was actually in the Money in the Bank match. Then that was on the 7th. Then on the 13th, she was on Main Event. Then there was a week where they didn't use her, but the week after they did, she was on SmackDown. Then there was a week they didn't use her. The week after, she was at Evolution, where she was in the Battle Royal. Then, so I would certainly agree that there, July, just having one match, seems like we didn't use her enough there. But then we've used her in 4 matches in August. And now here we are in September. So I would say, I mean, what's that? 4 matches in June, 4 matches in August, a match so far in September where she defended the championship. So I don't know, man. I don't even know why we're talking about this as much as we're talking about this. Like, there's one match there where, okay, maybe she should have had another match. Perhaps she should have had another match. I mean, she wins the belt in early August. you have to defend the belt, in my mind. The old rule is every 30 days. About 30 days later, she defends it on the 5th. I mean, what are we doing? What are we talking about? We're making out like this girl sat in catering. And it's like, for Julia here, I see like a little bit here where we could have had another match, you know? So Julia, I just can't go with. I'm sorry. I know that a lot of that is kind of house shows, whatever. I know that that's like them being over on the tour. But, I mean, she's defended there. It's within 30 days. They're keeping her active. They took her on that tour. She was at Evolution. They used her at Money in the Bank. She only got called up in May. So, for me, that one's okay. Now, you're telling me Stephanie might be the bigger concern. So, let's have a look at Stephanie and see where we are with Stephanie. And what's good is we've got Julia to kind of compare to as well. So, where are we here? So, NXT, 27th. She was at Battlegrounds. Then she's at NXT. She wrestles on the 2nd qualifier. Then she wrestles on the 6th. Then the 7th. 7th. Oh, yeah, that day she did Money in the Bank and Flipping Worlds Collide, didn't she? Then she's wrestling on the 16th. So, she's had a good chunk of matches there, okay? They get to Queen of the Ring. Asuka wins. They don't have anything for her at that point, right? Then she does main event. So, yeah, the rest of the month, like, there's a good few weeks where she's absent. Maybe they could have got her on some main events. But she does main event. She does the Evolution Battle Royal. Now, we know that she ends up winning that. And we know that the prize is that she's going to be going to Clash in Paris, right? These are just matches, by the way. These aren't backstage segments. These aren't promos. So I don't know if, you know, Julia and Stephanie did not feature on more shows than this, but just did backstage stuff or just did promos, right? So they could have featured even more. So for me, honestly, up to this point, I think we're fine. Then she competes a little bit more all the way up there. So she was missing in August, wasn't she? So we don't have anything for August. I think June is looking good. I think July is looking good. We know that she was meant to be at Clash, but wasn't. So what was the date of Clash? Clash in Paris? Clash in Paris? How do I find that show? TV, pay-per-view. It is Clash was on the 31st. So Clash was on the 31st. So we could have used her in August. So what I would say is, from what I'm seeing with Julia, I think there's probably a match missing in July, sorry. And I think with Stephanie, she was meant to wrestle in August at Clash, didn't. Obviously, plans changed, and I think we knew a week in advance, didn't we? So could we have found something else for her to have done? Maybe, but I think they used Naomi's pregnancy as a way of saying, let's do the match at WrestlePalooza instead. So again, with Stephanie, how concerned do we need to be? How nitpicky are we going to be here in regards to, like, worrying about things on this kind of minute scale where we're talking a few weeks? You know what I mean? She could have had like a match or two in August, and I feel like we've spoke about this way too long. And I feel like with Julia, she could have had another match in like July. I don't understand. I don't get it. Perhaps someone can bring me up to speed. Perhaps I'm just missing the big picture as to why people are, you know, so worried about this. But for me, there's honestly nothing there. I don't see any reason to be concerned. I think it was interesting that she was away throughout August. So good to see her. Good to see her pop up on NXT. And she, of course, is going to be having a match next week. She's going to be in a 6-woman tag match next week. So we know she's not injured or anything. We also know that plans have changed. And we also know that she's going to be competing for the top title at WrestlePalooza. So honestly, they're both fine. Calm down. That's the point that I'm making. It's okay. Yes, they both could have had a few more matches, but not enough to be, running around like, setting off the alarms. Right, have we got the new show that's lined up yet? We do, and it is a thumbnail of Steam Pig. So it should be a very fun show. Wrestle with Andy said, Daze, maybe Sammy's win could be delayed until the Saudi Mania. He might not win the first year and then get it the second, like Cody Rhodes. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know if the fans are going to go with... I don't know if the fans are going to go with Sammy. At the moment, there seems to be a bit of resistance to Sammy. Obviously, we know he's been put in some bad situations. Putting him in a feud with Carrion was not ideal. Putting him in John Cena's last SmackDown appearance was not ideal. Last time he's going to be in Chicago. No one wanted to boo John Cena, of course. So, it's one of those where you just go, is that a case that Sammy has... I don't know, kind of cooled, and we just haven't found a way of heating him back up. I mean, I think one of the things that people loved about Sammy was his humor. I think that him being in the bloodline and the Usi moment and the honorary use and him talking about going to Waffle House and stuff like that, I think that won him a lot of affection. And for whatever reason, we are not putting him in any situations where he can get humor now. So instead, he's having to rely on his fighting spirit and about how, he wants to be world champ and all that. And it's kind of resonating with some people, but not everybody. So I don't know. I mean, it's a real interesting one. I'm very interested to see how they're going to keep building Sammy and what they're going to do with Sammy, and how we're going to find a way of trying to get him not over again. I think he's already over. But how are you going to get people to really want to see him be world champ? I don't get the vibe that people are quite there yet. I don't get the vibe that people really want to see it, I think you would easily find a lot of people throwing shade and being down on the idea of Sammy being champ. Maybe you'd find more people feeling that way than people that actually want to see it, So maybe delaying it would be the right move. Maybe, having him fall short. But I don't think that's what will push him over the edge. I think you need to dig back into the comedy. I think that's what people loved about him, was the comedy, was the humour, were that side of it. And we're not doing that at the moment. What we are doing at the moment is Evolve. So I've pressed play and we are underway with 2B. There we go. Championship on the line tonight as well. We didn't run down the card, but it says Jackson Drake defends the Evolve Championship with the odds stacked against him in a triple threat match against Brooks Jensen and Keanu Carver. So apparently on this show we got Ridge Holland, Steam Pig. We've got Jackson Drake, Brooks Jensen, Keanu Carver, Tate Wilder, Carly Bright, and Layla Diggs. Right, show starting, and we're just seeing vanity projects. Brony said, Sammy doesn't excite me. His promos are very formulaic, but he's one of those baby faces that sucks as a champ, but are great at chasing. His IC run after beating Gable was very poor, says Brony. Okay, Brad is just talking about some of the names that Jackson's going to have to go up against tonight. We don't just run WWE ID, we run Evolve. There's Bryce. Talking about Keanu Carver. And there's the champ. I kind of like the way they're presenting this with the sort of neon. The neon names looks good. Tonight's a triple threat, but when it comes to me and my title, there's no threat. So there we go. Evolve Championship tonight. Are we going to get a new champ? I'm a G like Ali. Right, we got the intro right now. Kylie Bright is starting off the show. Kendal Gray coming out with her as well. We haven't seen loads of Kylie Bright. We know that Kendal Gray has got a bit of a Wendy Choo problem. I sort of liked it when these two weren't really friends. Now they're actually friends. I don't like it as much. It's too nice. I don't like pleasant things. So there we go. We've got Kendal Gray coming out. I wonder if she'll turn on her actually. You would do that, wouldn't you? I'd do that. One's going to have to turn on the other at some point. There's no such thing as friends in wrestling. Oh, yeah, I forgot. We do a whole dance thing, don't we? Layla Diggs making her way down, and this is better as well. This is new, where they're cutting promos whilst doing entrances. It's nothing personal. Periods. Okay, well, they've danced their way down. I don't think it's got much of a reaction from the crowd by the looks of it. Okay, so Kylie versus Layla, match number 1. Don't know much about either of these two, so this will be an interesting one to watch. Mohammed said from 2013 onwards, saw big names appear each week, mostly and defend titles week by week and have feuds. The image in mind caused the concerns. I'm not familiar with WWE's new way of using talent, says Mohammed. Well, I mean, I would say that seeing talent compete in matches week in, week out is not the norm. Seeing them have matches every single week, I mean, you're going to have promo segments. And, you know, Julia, if that's what we're talking about, Julia has got a mid-card title. I mean, you just don't see those titles getting defended on a regular basis unless you're going to make a thing out of it like Sammy's going to do with his US Open challenge. So the old rule of thumb is every 30 days. So as long as Julia defends that belt every 30 days, then to me that ticks the box, the requirement. Promos and stuff like that, yes, she should be getting those in. But I don't see any need for concern there. And I think, you know, in regards to Stephanie, I agree. Her missing and not having a match throughout August is obviously strange. I'd have to go back and check to see if she's been doing promos and appearing backstage. I believe she has. She definitely could have got a match or two in within that time. But again, you do have that big caveat of she had a big title match coming up at the end of the month at Clash in Paris. She was going for the top women's championship. Don't know that she would have won it, but, you know, they clearly had a plan for her. She was clearly in their thoughts. So I just don't see a need for concern. Okay, nice double drop kick there by both women and flip over by both women as well. Kylie goes under a leapfrog, duck underneath, round the back looking for a net breaker. Kylie going over looking for the pin. 2, shoulder up. Big Time said NXT did 654 last night. It was at 4% in viewers, and it was down 26% in the demo. 654 is okay. It didn't feel like there was loads of people around yesterday during the stream, actually. It felt quite quiet. It feels like it's a bit of a quiet period right now. Oh, crashing down. Going for the pin. 2. Kick out. So, yeah, could sort of tell that it wasn't going to be like an amazing number. Right now, we've got Layla over the other side, grabbing Kylie. Layla slams her down. Standing moonsault. Oh, botchy. Kylie tried to move out the way. She ended up rolling into the moonsault, so maybe a lesson learnt there. Still got caught. Right now, Kylie going over to the corner, climbing up. Moonsault, lands on her feet, rolls back. Layla comes in, big boot. Kylie goes down. 1, 2, kick out. Kick out there by Kylie. It was a nice strike there by Layla. Layla's got a decent size about her. Kylie going into the corner. Kick coming in again. I don't think either of these are heels. I was just looking at the ring gear. That looks rubbish. That kind of cartwheel over, then just sort of flop forwards. Nice. Tornado DDT there by Kylie. 1, 2. Kicks out only just. Only just. Springboard cutter that she executes with agility and precision. Okay, right now we've got Layla. You could hear a pin drop in this place. Elbow to the back of the head there by Kylie. 1, 2, 3. Best part about that match is Kylie Bright's finish. That's the best part about that match. There was no interaction with the crowd. I didn't see them like trying to get the fans involved. A couple of moments there felt a little clunky as well. Didn't like that from Layla Diggs where she does like a bit of a cartwheel and then gets her balance and then sort of just threw herself forwards. That kick was good from Layla. Yeah. Let's get a poll up, shall we? See what you lot thought about that. I don't think it was great. Okay, we're backstage with Brooks, sorry. WrestleMania said a women's Mania main event in Saudi would be a huge deal, says WrestleMania. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, we do women's matches in Saudi Arabia. Is it a big deal if you make it a main event? I mean, I don't know that you would give it night 2. I mean, I agree. If it gets night 2, massive deal. If it gets night 1, is that a massive deal? I suppose. Big Time said, is it wrong to say that these two don't look like stars? They look average. If you look at Zayda, Lola, Sol Ruka, they're larger than life. Yeah, but I don't know that they've found their presentation yet. I mean, I would agree with you. I don't look at those two right now and see them, you know, kind of being exactly like that on the main roster. But, you know, they're going to get different ring gear. They're going to get different presentation. And you never know. I mean, might turn to face paint, might get a gimmick, might get a mask. Well, it could do anything. So, yes, I don't think it's unfair to say that it's hard to see that translate into the main roster. I think at this stage, that is a factor and something they will need to look at. But, you know, that match is so far away from where they would need to be on the main roster. That match is a match that just about qualifies for Evolve in my mind. Kylie Bright getting the win. Kendal said your hard work's starting to pay off. Okay, here's Kendal then calling out Wendy Choo. I really like Kendal Gray. I think Kendal Gray is a good watch when it comes to matches. I don't really know about her promos. So she's making noise about staying in Evolve and going after that championship. That title is going to be mine. Okay, here comes Kylie then. Kylie has just heard those words, so here's the Evolve Women's Champ. Tell you what, Kendal Gray against Kylie Armstrong, this will be good. Get past Wendy Choo first before you start calling out my title. Okay, they're squabbling in the ring. Then we kind of cut outside. Here's the Steam Pig. Steam Pig's here. Okay, we got Stevie. Okay, so this is going to be Steam Pig against Tate while the Steam Pig's here. Steam Pig, Steam Pig, Steam Pig, Steam Pig. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Okay, they're chanting for Tate. Ugh. Steam Pig versus Tate Wilder. Steam Pig in the house. Craig said, I found out on the internet that Tiffany, Stephanie, and Rhea could be the Powerpuff Girls. Yeah, I saw that meme. Very fun. Okay, coming up tonight, we got Keanu Carver, Jackson Drake, Brooks Jensen. Drop kick there by Tate. Steam Pig down. Steam Pig has still got his headband on. We know that's where the Steam Pig gets his powers from. Going over the... Well, that was pretty good by Tate. This is already better than the first match. Never faced the fear that he didn't overcome. Into the ring posts goes Tate. Okay, I think we're going to commercial break again. So, Kylie against Layla. You lot said... Let's have a look at the scores. 11, 20, 58, 8. Good 89. I think you've been kind. I think you've been very kind. Steam Pig against Tate Wilder. Let's see what these guys can do. Where are we? Already 15 minutes in. James said, talking of pig, I had gammon for tea. Oh, look at you. Look at you. Big Time said, Kylie is 32. I thought she was younger. She's someone that I would try to get on the roster in the next few years. Right, Tate going over. Big knee coming in there by Tate. We got Steam Pig on the outsides. Duck underneath. Clothesline there by Ridge. Ridge coming in. Going over. Ridge Holland. I sort of feel like the headband should be black, you know. He's got black knee pads, black trunks, black boots. I feel like the headband should be black. He's even got, I don't know if that's tape in it. He's got tape around his, that should be black as well. Tate Wilder down in the middle of the ring. He's asking for more. Shot coming in there by Tate. And again, unloading on the Steam Pig. Right now we got Tate in the middle of the ring. Tate going over to the corner. Belly to belly. Gets it. Belly to belly from the Steam Pig. Rich Holland now looking for a German. Gets it. He's shouting out to the crowds. Honestly, it would do him a lot of good to have a catchphrase. Thing is, he's a heel. You know, they're trying to get the fans behind Tate Wilder here. Another belly to belly. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Is that headband or is it tape? Oh, I don't know. I thought it was a headband from a distance, but maybe it's tape. What would be the benefit of putting tape around your head? Elbow drop. It could be. Again, grab him. Tate Wilder looking to scoop him up. He's got him up. Looking to snake eyes, is it? Don't know. Where we going? Power slam? No. Oh, boot coming in. And again. But Daze, between Orlando and Hollywood's, who do we think has got the better horrors of the Wyatt Six? I'm going to give Orlando the dub, said Taker 1990. To be honest, I thought they both looked quite good. I would probably go... Probably go Orlando. I feel like Orlando was longer from what I saw. I saw a video of... I think I've seen videos of both. Like full videos. I feel like the Orlando one was a bit bigger. And I think a lot of the elements crossed over, though. There was a funhouse in both. So if you was after the funhouse, that featured in both. I feel like both kind of... I think the Hollywood one actually had more of the swamp stuff, didn't it? So I don't think Orlando had as much of that. But I feel like Orlando just in general had more. But I think they were both really good. Slam down there by the Steam Pig. Elbow drop there by Holland. Charging in. Collides into the corner. Tate coming in. Kick to the midsection. Chop coming in there by Tate. Tate trying to find a way back into this. Clothesline coming in there by Tate. Tate grabbing headbutt coming back there by the Steam Pig. I mean, they're operating at a nice pace here. I mean, it has been like go, go, go. It has been like a really good pace. Rich Holland coming over, grabbing Tate. Holland goes into the corner. Didn't love that. He kind of like slowed as he got to the corner. I thought he was going to explode out with a clothesline. Instead, he just sort of wandered over and then got chucked. Tate goes up. Oh! Kick coming in. Nice. Enziguri. Bit of overselling there by the pig. 2. Kick out by Ridge. Ridge trying to find a way back up to his feet. Work it. I don't think the selling of Ridge is very good. Slams down Tate. Ridge trying to find a way back up to his feet. Goes over. Charges Tate into the corner. Oh. Cannonballs his way into the corner. Gut wrench. The up and under, he calls it, and that is going to put Tate Wilder away. I think that was a better match. There's definitely areas of it that I think could be polished. I think some of Ridge's selling is a little bit off. They kind of also didn't massively bring the crowd in. But a lot bigger with their movements. You could tell there was a lot of experience there. Sean said if Ridge does go back to the main roster, I don't think he'll ever get over with fans since what happened with Big E. Well, I don't think that'll be a problem if he's a heel. I think it's going to be really hard for him to get over as a face. He might have to be heel for life. Okay, we're going to hear from Marcus and Aaron. Look at that. Look at the paint that he's put on his face. Okay, they both think each other are really cool. Okay, so they're just talking about their team because they're teaming together. They're an odd couple, but they're likable. Okay, we're talking of likable. Okay, so we've got its goal. Oh, okay. They're talking about the guys we just saw and how they rank on the studometer. I'm excited by both of these. Okay, there's Keanu Carver. Are we going over to that match now? Oh, I think we might be. It's early, isn't it? For the main event. I love that from Pete. Pete Rosenberg said, if you've tuned in to Evolve and you didn't know what you were getting, you have found yourself an incredible, incredible match. So he's really putting this over. And so he should. Championship on the line. Oh, hello, we're backstage, Wendy Choo has got Kendal. Kendal Gray's been choked out. Kendal Gray has been choked out by Wendy Choo. Oh, my God. Well, Okay, there we go. We've got Keanu Carver making his way out, and we know that we have got our main event coming up. So, Brooks Jensen, Keanu Carver, Jackson Drake. One of these is going to leave as the Evolve Men's Champion. So, first match you lot said was good 89. Let's just end the poll for that second match. Ridge against Tate. Thought it was okay. It was fine. I think it was better. Still don't think it was mind-blowing, but it was better. So, we have got... Yeah, I agree. Good 95. I thought it was better. Good. 0% said that last match was all time. So, right. 2 matches. Good 89. Good 95. And now we're at our main event. Main event's going to get some good time here, said Jennifer. Suzanne said Wendy Choo is weird. James said the Saudis want Hogan Andre to main event. I wish them all the very best with that. Jennifer said, I'm going to make a baked potato and I'm going to top it with some homemade chili. Lovely. I haven't had dinner yet. I still need to have some. 99 to beat. Season premiere on Fox. Oh, hello. What's this? Oh, advert for WWE at Petco Park. Survivor Series. Let's go. I'm really excited about that being in the stadium. Please make it good. Tickets on sale now. I'm going to say that we might get a new champ, said Shaquem. But with me, when I said we get a new champ, we might not get a new champ. But that's okay. I think we could get a new champ. I think there's a chance of that. Okay, here's Brooks. Brooks Jensen making his way out. Taker 1990 said the Saudis are also going to want Macho Man against Ultimate Warrior. Well, it sounds like a great WrestleMania so far, to be honest. I mean, we've seen Warrior Macho Man at 7. It was a great match. We saw Hogan Andre at 3, and it's iconic. Maybe not a great match, but it certainly is arguably the greatest moment with them being face-to-face. So, yeah, if we can do that again in 2027, I think that'll be a lot of fun. Sign me up. Here's the champ. Here's Jackson Drake. Beast Mode said main event's going to get about half an hour. Okay, Jackson Drake's come out without the rest of the Vanity Project. So apparently, Jackson Drake just gave Mr. Stone a wink. I said wink. I don't want there to be a Booker T miscommunication. He gave him a wink with an eye. Okay, Jackson Drake get in the ring. All 3 are in the ring. We're just going to get the intros. And then we're going to be underway. Shaquem said, in the new former champion is a good champ. I want to stay champ. Main event WrestleMania. Disclaimer, it's a joke. AJ versus Becky. Ankles on a pole match. The winner gets to roll up their pant leg and show ankle. Trini, very good. Very good. To be honest, our community is so perverted that even we would freak out at that. Even we would be like, oh my God. Oh, it's getting hot in here. Someone's booing really loud. Someone like boo and very just not stop him. Boo! 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 Now listen. They're definitely playing their part. Okay, belt being held up. Got the graphic on screen. Evolve Championship up for grabs. It's going to be a difficult one, this, isn't it, for the champ? He's got the experience of Brooks Jensen to deal with and the power of Keanu Carver. Jackson goes straight after Brooks. Shoulder barge. Jackson down. Jackson against the ropes. Keanu with a big clothesline. Champ to the outside. Here's Brooks taking a step forward. Right now, the champ's out the way. He's got a good size to him, hasn't he, Brooks? Shoulder barge there. Brooks stands firm, goes over, has a few words with Keanu. Shoulder bar. He's actually, I think he's even taller. He might even be taller than Keanu. Keanu's obviously thicker. More jacked. But I tell you what, Brooks is getting some success when he collides into Keanu. He is driving him back. It's a bit weird, these two trying to, like, show a bit of a test of strength. Surely Keanu wins the test of strength here. Oh, that person booing is back again. Boo! Jackson's back in. Keanu goes to the outsides. An announcement is made. It's goal! It's goal! It's goal! And Jamar Hampton going to be in action against Marcus Mathers and Aaron Rourke next week. So that match next week. Chop coming in. Oh, that's nice by Brooks. Bang, bang. Chop, clothesline. Oh, look at that. Bang, bang. Love it. Oh, love it as well. That looked great. See that power slam? Is it Brooks Jensen's night? Goes to the outsides. I've just seen a couple of things that... Oh, Keanu murks him, mate. I've just seen a couple of things out of Brooks Jensen that I really like there. Keanu gets in. Do you know what? It's nice to have some lovely little sequences. You just can't beat raw power. Ah, back elbow there by Keanu. And again, Brooks Jensen comes in, collides into Jackson. He's on the shoulders of Keanu. Huh? Why did Jackson just easily... Oh, that was a bit forced. That was forced. Jackson went wandering over and Keanu just grabbed him, but so that he could have one on the back, one on the front. I think they could have set that up a lot better. It just looked like Jackson walked over to get picked up. It just looked like that's what we were doing. Keanu driving the shoulder in. Oh, there we go. Massive boot there by Jackson, but only getting a 2. I don't even know that Keanu kicked out of that. Jackson lands on the feet. Drop kick. Keanu goes to the outsides. That's going to leave the champ and Brooks going over. Brooks goes to the outsides. Little bit of a lull here as Jackson finds himself alone in the ring, but he's going to go airborne. Yes. Comes down, comes crashing down on Brooks and Keanu. Boo! How do you like me now, Orlando? How do you like me now? As we go to commercial break. Right. James said SmackDown straight into Worlds Collide. Yes, yes, yes. We'll be doing those shows. And at the moment, we're doing the boxing as well on Saturday. Just a bit worried about my voice. I don't know why. My voice is really weak at the moment. Keeps, like, packing up. I'd imagine a lot of you have been praying for this. Your prayers have been answered. Oh, wow. That wasn't much of a break. Kick coming in there by Jackson. And again. He's throwing in these kicks to Keanu, but Keanu is just eating them. And grabs the leg, gets back up to his feet, picks up Jackson on his shoulders, stumbles back Jackson on the outsides, grabs Keanu, uses that top rope really well. Ah, lovely kick coming in there by Brooks. Jackson throws Brooks to the outside. Keanu down. Senton connects. Jackson takes his time. He's listening out to the crowd, trying to get them involved. Goes for the cover. Stupid that he didn't cover quicker as Brooks splashes from the top. At the moment, all three are down. Right now, we've got... kick coming in there by Jackson. Keanu to the outsides. Kick. Gets caught. Spins him round. Forearm shot there by Brooks. Jackson goes down. He's trying to power bomb. Jackson, no joy. Keanu on the outside. Kick coming in there by Jackson. Brooks on wobbly legs. Picks him up. Lovely. 1, 2. That was a fisherman buster. Looks like Jackson's exchanging a few words with someone in the crowds. WWE is discussing Rusev Ilya in a field in the future. Sign me up, said AB. Yeah, I'll be excited for Ilya to come back. That'll be good. Right now, we've got Brooks trying to get back up to his feet. Another forearm shot coming in there by Brooks. Strike coming back there by Jackson. Uppercut there by Brooks. Headbutt by Jackson. Unloading at the moment. Kick coming in. Spins him round the back. Looking for a clothesline. No joy against the ropes. That caught him. That's good. He's got him on the shoulders. Oh, chucks him down. Kicks him in the back of the head. 1, 2. Brooks. Oh, really close. Really close. Right now we got Brooks throwing Keanu to the outsides. This match has been okay. It's had its moments. I don't know that it's been as good as some of the Evolve matches we've seen in recent times, though. We have been getting some really great matches. And I don't know that this one is quite grabbing me the same as those, but they're down on their knees. We know the Evolve Championship on the line. Keanu Carver's back in. That's always exciting. I think is Jackson and Brooks going to have to work together. They probably should. Big shot coming in there by Keanu. Picks up Jackson. Hurls him. Big throw. Ah, this is good. Now we've gone up a gear. Now Keanu's in there just chucking bodies around. Kick coming in there by Jackson. Jackson against the ropes. Picks him up. Oh, Keanu collides into him. Champ in trouble. Spine buster. Keanu. 1, 2. Oh, shoulder up. Shoulder up. Mr. Stone popped a button apparently on his shirt. That's how excited he got. His shirt is literally popping apart. Right now we got Keanu is grabbing Jackson. He's picking him up on his shoulders. Oh, lands on his feet. Kick coming in there by Jackson. Nice, I like that. Sweeping of the legs. Jackson Drake. Okay. Standing, shooting star. What is he doing? Okay, he's managed to, like, power up. Now we've got Brooks. Okay. So Brooks with a German to Keanu. Keanu with a bit of a fall away. Brooks Jensen back in the corner. He's going for like an elbow here, isn't he? Southern Lariat. Yeah, no joy. Jackson moves out the way. Step up Enziguri. Brooks goes down. So Brooks is down. We've got Keanu. We got Jackson. Ah, lovely kick. Oh, he just ate that. Wow. Like a step up in Zaguri. Keanu went like that and he's like all fired up now. Keanu has got Jackson up. Big trouble. Brooks Jensen. Bang. Down goes Jackson. Brooks is trying to go over, trying to get the cover. Keanu's right there, though. Oh, Keanu didn't stop it. Jackson kicked out. Yeah, there was a moment there where Keanu actually had Jackson up, and it felt like that was going to be the end. But it wasn't. Right now, we've got Brooks going up. Keanu, middle of the ring. Keanu coming over, throwing in a big shot. Shot coming back there by Brooks. Climbing up, looking for a suplex. Big superplex, gets it. Here's Jackson. Jackson up, springboards. Comes down. Is that going to do it? No, it can't. Keanu Carver rolls out the ring. Joe said, I'm surprised that he kicked out. Lovely kip up there by Jackson. Oh, referee did well to get out the way there. Jackson going through the ropes. Big shot. Jackson goes down. Wow, that was a really quick replay that they just went to. Keanu Carver has got Jackson Drake on his shoulder. Here's Bryce. Bryce. Into the ring post goes Keanu. Big boot there by Bryce. No DQ. No DQ. Keanu Carver down. Bryce. Okay, here's Brooks. Big boot. Bryce goes down. Jackson, no. Rolls up Brooks. 2. No. Doesn't get it. Ah, big boot. Big boot. Against the ropes. Brooks moves out the way. Going over. Whoa, there's that lariat. The lariat. 1, 2. Ah, mate. Bryce. Bryce again. That would have been it. That would have been it. That would have been it. He connected with that lariat. That would have done it. Right now, Jackson grabbing the leg. I think it's going to be Jackson, isn't it? I think that probably was Brooks' moment. Ah, big shot. Ah! Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Jackson Drake retains. I think that match had its moments. There's the Vanity Projects. Hondos. Hondos. Dun, dun, dun. There's some good moments in that match. Oh, God, I can still hear that person. I'm going to go to sleep hearing that person going, boo, boo, ah. I can still hear it. Oh, my God. What's the funniest thing you've seen in wrestling? Easily Shane McMahon getting injured at WrestleMania, and then Snoop Dogg punching The Miz in the face just randomly. Miz was in a match with Shane. Shane got injured. Miz was like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Snoop just gets in the ring and goes, boom! And if anyone tells you there's a funnier moment than that, I might listen to Titus World Slide, but that's it. There they are, celebrating. Bit of blood in the mouth of Jackson Drake. Keanu Carver again falls short. Evolve has got a vanity project problem. Oh. Stevie Turner. What's going to happen here? Okay. Next week's plans. What's this? I Quit match. Who's asked for that? Wendy against Kendal. I Quit. Stevie just wondering if she was under the desk. I Quit match. Wow. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Stevie's like, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, I'm down for that. That'll be a lot of fun. I wonder if that'll be the match that sort of blows it up. I mean, an I Quit match is like really embarrassing, of course. So that could be the end of that feud then. And then that means that we can move on to some other stuff. I don't know what Wendy would move on to. I've got a feeling that Kendal's... It's not going to be long until she makes her way to flipping NXT. Hello. I've got the December 25th, 2013 NXT playing right now. And I think it's probably like a end of the year awards type show. Yeah, there's Renee. Renee Young is here. She's at Full Sail. We'll be at Full Sail on Wednesday. There we go. James said, Titus World Slide's not really that funny when you're an inch closer to the ring. He could have done himself some serious damage. Jacob said, that was hilarious. What was that? What was that? Kendall's already doing stuff, says Mayor Pete's. Yes, but she's just kind of on both brands at the moment. The last bit of news we heard was that she's expected to be part of that sort of next wave of women that are going to be called up. And then she'll be on NXT properly and she won't feature on Evolve. So expecting her to sort of wind up her commitments with Evolve in the very near future. AB said, who's going to face Okada for the title? That's a good question. The Librarian. Friday is going to be great, said Nathan. I have enjoyed watching AAA. She is picking it up quickly, says William. Yeah, I'm a fan. HBK dressed like Shane McMahon and dancing around, said, there it is. Yes, that was a fun moment, yes. I am surprised they kicked out, says Joe. Yeah, let's have a look and see what you lot thought. We've had, how many votes we had? Coming up to about 30 odd votes. I think it's looking like it's going to be the best match of the night. So, title match. And I think it was the best match of the night. I don't know that it has kind of reached the standard of maybe some of the great Evolve matches that we've seen, though. That would be really interesting, actually, to go back and look at what the highest rated Evolve matches were from the community. Because I think we have been rating them all. We might have missed a week or so. But by and large, we could get a good idea as to what that is. I'm not sure this is going to join the upper echelon, but it was still fun. It was still fun. So let's have a little look, shall we? See what you lots rated it. You lot said 50, 34, 6, and 9. So you gave it a great rating. Great 59 is what you scored it. So great 59 is what we've got. Lovely, lovely, lovely. The stream will end shortly, said Boomers. Well, the show is over, so yes, you are correct. Who would you give the championship title to on SmackDown instead of Tiffany? Who would I give the championship to on SmackDown instead of Tiffany? Not Nia. I don't know. It's a good question, that. It's a good question because a lot of the big names are over on Raw. A lot of the big names are on Raw. I know you've got Alexa and Charlotte, but they're doing tag stuff right now. So I don't know that they are the right options. I don't know that you're going to go EO because EO is... Well, hang on. Naomi's over on Monday. That is where EO is. So I don't know. I mean, maybe you put it on EO and then EO finds her way over. There probably is a bit of star power missing when it comes to the women's division on Friday when you think that Charlotte and Alexa are in the tag division. I don't know as to where they've actually put AJ Lee. I mean, I'm guessing she's gone on Raw because she's going to be with Punk, isn't she? So I've got to think she would go to Raw. So SmackDown, Alexa, B-Fab, Bianca has been away, Candice, Chelsea, Charlotte, Julia, Naomi is out, Michin, I already said I'm not giving it Nia, Nikki Cross, Tiffany, Zelina. We ain't drowning in options, are we? We ain't drowning in options. You might be able to give like Chelsea a run with it, but you would need the right build and the right story. Honestly, I don't know if you don't just give it to EO and then move EO over. But I think they want to do an EO Asuka feud, don't they? That's the only problem. I think Stephanie's getting it. I could see Stephanie getting it. Stephanie could get it. EO feuds with Asuka, but they probably do need to kind of move a few people around in the drafts. I mean, without being unfair, and what I'm about to say might be seen as unfair, B-Fab is not world championship level right now. Maybe you could build her to that level, but she ain't there. Bianca is. We need her back. Candice doesn't strike me as world championship level. We haven't built her up. She hasn't had like good mid-card runs. She doesn't get regular matches. She's a bit part player. So she doesn't feel like she's that level. Charlotte, Alexa, tag team. Chelsea, you could use her for a little bit. I don't know if that is now though. But you could use her for a little bit. Julia's already got a belt. Jade's. Is it time to give Jade a run? That doesn't feel an exciting alternative to me. If we've got any kind of question marks around Tiffany, I think we've definitely got those same question marks around Jade. Naomi is out. Michin doesn't strike me as being that level. Again, give her a run with a mid-card belt first. Nia, I don't want to go back to that. Nikki, I don't see her being like a world champion and like having to just like defend the belt. Like, I think she's a lot better like going after people and feuding with people and being that sort of attraction. She's an option. It's not an option I would go with. Zelina's interesting. Zelina's interesting because she has had a mid-card run already. She does have a lot of online support. you could take a chance on. If I was going to take a chance on someone, it would be Zelina. It's not one that I am giddy about. Hence why, going with someone like Stephanie, or I don't think you can bring Io over. So, yeah, it's difficult. I don't think the women's division is that stacked on SmackDown if you was to move away from Tiffany. Defcon said, I did a toy hunt at Walmart in a senior citizen town. They don't buy doggies. The aisles were full. It reminded me of Toys R Us, and there was 15 clear Cenas. Defcon, figures. Okay, got you. They don't buy figures. Got you. Well, goods at a Walmart. So you went to a Walmart. And they had pretty stock shelves by the looks of it, so very good. James said the only correct answer is Chelsea Green. Sean said, do you think that COO Mark is talking about increasing ticket prices even more, and that will blow up in his face? I need to see the comments. I haven't seen the comments. I did see someone talking about it, but I have not seen the exact wording, so... they will just try and get as much... I think they'll just try and get as much money as they can, won't they? They will keep pushing up ticket prices for as long as tickets sell. Whether that's a flipping right thing to admit to or not, probably not. Asib said, Nikki Bella, do we think that she's a better heel? She probably is a better heel. She gets okay support. I think there's, some support that's there, some respect that's there. I think the fans in Paris were more excited by Becky than they were Nikki. I don't know if that's down to Becky being the biggest star, or if it's down to just a bit of we're not interested in watching Nikki. I don't know. I think the narrative around Nikki is wrong. I don't think WWE have really helped her out much with that. I sort of feel like the narrative is that she's from this, she's the face of this awful Divas era. And it's like, we've moved on past that, so we've moved on past her. But it's like, that's actually quite disrespectful, because that wasn't her fault we had a Divas era. We had a Divas era because WWE wanted to get a Divas reality show. They wanted to still have the women kind of doing photo shoots and getting scantily clad. And do you know what I mean? That's just where women's wrestling was at that time. It wasn't Nikki that made it that. So I sort of feel like she gets a bit punished because of that, really. Whereas I see her as someone that just gave her all, tried her best at a very challenging time for women's wrestling. So I don't have any hate for Nikki Bella. I don't have any ill will towards her. But there does seem to be a resistance to her. I don't know, perhaps there's more to that. I've seen people commenting about the domestic abuse stuff. I'm not sure if that has played a part. It's always hard to know where these conversations are online, because apparently it wasn't just him attacking her. She had attacked the guy. And so there's these people saying, why are people trying to make out that Nikki's the victim and all this? Is that played a part in the booze? I don't see enough people talking about that for that to feature for me. I don't think that's the reason. I think it's probably just that she is seen as the face of an era that is not the proudest era for women's wrestling. And so I think it's probably more that. And there's this obviously perception that she can't wrestle. And so fans, I think, would rather see others in that position. But, with social media being as big as it is and the conversations being so varied, you never quite know why people are booing. It could be for any number of reasons. So, the fans in Paris didn't massively ride with her, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. Yeah, you could turn her heel. I think she would do. She might get over a bit better. She might have more of an impact being a heel. But don't know. We'll have to see what the plans are. See what they do with her. She doesn't really register, to be honest with me. I don't hate her. I don't, go out of my way to get excited for her matches. I'm way more excited by AJ Lee. But yeah, we'll see. SmackDown in Cleveland in early October is currently at 3.8 thousand, down from 14. Raw did in the same building in March. TKO was forced to drop ticket prices from 120 to 57 because tickets weren't moving. That will vary, though, won't it, from market to market. So some markets won't be able to afford crazy ticket prices and they'll have to adjust accordingly. Some markets, the tickets will sell. If you go to Connecticut, which is, known as being a very affluent area, I've got to think that it's going to be easier to sell tickets there at a high price rather than if you go somewhere else. So they're constantly analysing that, aren't they? I mean, look, my stance on ticket prices. I don't give a flip about the front row. I don't give a flip about, even the floor seats to a degree. I sort of feel like with basketball and other sports, those tickets and those seats are always high priced. They're always sought after. You're naturally going to expect, a high number. But for me, can families still get in? Can a family of four still afford to go? Or are you actually now pricing people out? And, that bothers me a lot more. So, I don't know. I don't know where it ends. I mean, the bottom line is they will get the highest, most amount of money that they can get. It's simple as that, isn't it? If they go somewhere and the tickets don't sell, they'll drop the prices. But they'll start up here and go down rather than start here and, go up. So. Big Time said, I think the drastic drop either shows that fans aren't apt to go back to an event so close after spending so much. When did you say they were there last? When were they there before? I've missed that bit of the conversation. Mom and Dad took us camping and we spent our summers at the river, said William. Hasib said, do we think the Jacob hype has died? I think it's just settled. I don't think it's over. I think that you can bring that back because, he's a badass, and I just don't think they've had anything for him to do right now. They don't have any plans for him to be a mid-card guy. I mean, obviously they see big things for him, and I wouldn't be shocked to see him going after a world title next year. So, you just have him, make a save, someone getting beat up, Jacob's music hits, down he comes. I mean, you just need to put him in there with a Rusev, put him in there with some big guys, give him some really cool spots, really cool moments, smashing each other through commentary tables. And I think his entrance is good, his look is good. There's little things that I'm not keen on, like seeing him dancing away at house shows, yeeting and all that sort of stuff. That, not for me. Do you remember how The Undertaker just would not do that spinneroonie? Just would not do it. I sort of feel like you have to have a little bit of self-policing sometimes. And I think someone like Jacob, who should be a wrecking machine, comes in, destroys everyone, gets out of that. I don't think he should be standing there yeeting away. So I think the presentation of him, you got to be very careful. I think it has settled down, yes. But I don't think it's that's it, it's over. I don't think it's we'll never get it back. I think we can easily heat it back up again, but it's just not there right now. Angel said Jacob should go to Raw. Perhaps it would be good for him to get away from his family, actually. Perhaps it would be good for him to not just constantly be around Jimmy and Jay and actually tell some stories out on his own, get away from Solo. Yeah. Big Time said, we've complained about the lack of entertainment on the main roster. How much could it do with Triple H constantly traveling and missing shows and having Bruce write it? I don't know. I couldn't answer that because I don't know what Bruce is like in the writer's room. I don't even know, like, if Triple H misses loads of those meetings. I mean, granted, as he's going around, he's not going to be at the office, but he, you know, in this day and age, you can always Zoom in, Skype in. I mean, if you have a meeting on a Tuesday for a few hours, I can't see as to why he still couldn't do that over in Europe on a Tuesday. I mean, they do a show on a Monday, they do a show on a Friday. He doesn't need to be at the live event shows. So what would stop him, like, zooming in, Skyping in on a Tuesday or whatever? So I have no idea. I've seen no reports that he's been missing meetings. I know that he went to Greece for a week or whatever. I'm sure he didn't attend meetings for that. But even when he was in Europe, in this day and age, you can zoom in, you can Skype him. Big Time said he did an interview saying he had no idea about the Stephanie EO contract signing didn't happen. Yeah, but that was clearly a last minute change, wasn't it? I mean, they had announced it the week before. So that's not like whole shows that he's not writing. That's just a last minute change. And actually that last minute change might be because of the fact that she was at NXT, like was mentioned earlier. I certainly wouldn't use that as an indicator that he is not doing meetings and actually helping write the shows. That to me is a last minute change. That was meant to happen. In fact, they even on the show spoke to EO and said, "Look, we're sorry, we can't do that segment now." So that segment was planned. So the fact that they weren't able to do it, that's what Triple H was not aware of. Because we know he wasn't at this week's Raw because he was at Kill Tony. So he was over at Kill Tony. That's why he wasn't at Raw. That's very unusual for him to miss Raw. I am still not on board with Jacob, says William. He needs more size. Gunther and Jacob could use some weight to make them look like their moves hurt worse, says William. Asib said, what changes have happened in creative to make it worse than what we had a few years back? Well, I think it's the top end of the card. Honestly, I think if you look back at the old shows, I bet a lot of those shows are not as great as what you actually thought they were. I just think the top end of the card did quite a bit of heavy lifting. If you have, like, for example, SmackDown, if you have Bloodline open the show and then you do some backstage segments where you check in with them and you tease like, oh man, Roman's not going to be happy, he's coming out later, and then you have Roman on the show at the end of the show and it's a juicy segment where he's upset with the Bloodline because they dropped the ball on Monday or something. I mean, to be honest, that framework of opening the show, going back throughout the show, and then closing the show with something that's going to be really meaningful, and it's going to drive a story forwards. Like, that is the skeleton that's missing. We don't have that now. And that Bloodline story used to do that for a lot of SmackDowns. And so we don't have that anymore. But I think if you was to look at the stuff that was in between, if you was to have a look at what was in between the Open and us going backstage and the main event, just the mid-card kind of feuds, you know, I think you'll see that they weren't 10 out of 10 shows. It's not like we've fallen from like this amazing height. I just think that they got the top end of the card right. And if you get the top end of the card right, it can probably get a couple of segments right, because chances are normally the opening segment connects to the main event. I mean, it was on Monday we saw them come out and the opening connected to the main event. Well, if you've got a really compelling top end of the cards that people are invested in, then that means that two of your most important segments, your opening segment and your closing segment, should be really good. And then it's down to the rest of the cards to carry their weight. So, you know, if you've got a fun women's division, so for example, Rhea, Liv, and that story, that can eat up time in the middle of the show as well. So all of a sudden, you know, maybe you got a good tag division that can eat up a segment. Punk's back, he's going to talk, that can eat up a segment. Like, do you know what I mean? As long as you've got that framework, the rest of the segment should hopefully not underwhelm. Hopefully you can have a really good open, which sets up your main event, revisit throughout the show. Hopefully your opening match is going to bang. Women's division needs to feature somewhere. Tag division hopefully features somewhere. Mid-card hopefully features somewhere. Blah, blah, blah. I just think the top end of the card was a lot better. I mean, I don't want to say it was all Bloodline, but I mean, Bloodline did spill over into Raw on a regular basis. And so on SmackDown, we were in obviously a very good place. Over on Raw, we've been relying a lot on Judgment Day. I think they had actually Liv Rhea over there, but we had obviously Jay trying to avoid the Bloodline. So he was kind of trying to do things on his own, and there was a lot of backlash towards him. You had the whole Punk Drew story feud that was playing out over on Raw. I'd say the top end of the card was just better than where we are right now. I mean, where we are now is we've got the Vision that I really don't think anyone cares about. I don't think anyone cares about the Vision. I think Braun and Bronson are just not very engaging. I don't personally feel very engaged with Braun and Bronson. If I don't see them, it would be fine. Because if I do see them, I don't really get a great deal out of them. I mean, they tend to eat a lot of losses. And I just don't find them very engaging. I mean, Braun comes down and just spears people. There's just, with the Bloodline, there was humour. There was like these really like interesting cliffhangers. There was these twists and turns. We're not getting any of that with the Vision. Not getting any of that. And then in the women's division, Naomi has just fallen pregnant, so we need to figure out what we're doing there. Tag division has not got going on Raw. You have a look at the mid-card, it's on Dominic. I mean, he's not been putting on like really exciting intercontinental matches. Judgment Day feel okay. They've been more compelling. I think they really miss Liv not being around. Yeah, I think we're just waiting for Liv to come back for that. So you just see a lot of stuff there that's just not... It just feels very undercooked. And then if you look over on SmackDown, I think we've relied on the John Cena retirement. Cody's got the belt back, but he's off doing a movie. So it's just... I feel like you can... Everywhere you look, you see problems. I mean, outside of the SmackDown tag division and the women's mid-card for Becky... I mean, obviously, Becky and AJ and all of that is the best, for me, the best story right now. And I think the SmackDown tag division. But I mean, if you look at the Raw tag division, rubbish. If you look at what we've done with Julia, I mean, there's been a big conversation there earlier, right? People aren't thrilled with the inactivity. So people aren't thrilled with that. If you have a look at John Cena's heel run, I think it underwhelmed. If you have a look at the Vision, I think it's undercooked. If you look at the mid-card title on Dominic, I don't think that has really been carrying its weight. If you have a look over Sammy, he's just won the United States title. Before that, it was on Solo and Jacob. And actually, those matches were not very well received. Their SummerSlam match was rated very poor. At the top of the cards, you've got Naomi, who's just become pregnant, so she's gone. We got an issue there. Tiffany, I think, is a bit undercooked. I don't know that people get massively excited for her and her matches and her promos. It's simple stuff, honestly. Just look at what we're doing with the champs. Look at what we're doing with the top end of the card. It's just undercooked. It's just not good enough. Right. We'll get a couple more thoughts and then we'll run away. So, Big Time said, Daze Riddle has joined the main roster. They paired him with Orton. Chemistry was there. Riddle was riding scooters. Orton was trying to get Randy Smiling, Alpha Academy, Spelling Bee on Raw. I don't know what we mean. Where's that going, buds? What about AJ Lee when she was there? You said you was worried about the creative for what she has. What have we said about AJ Lee? I like AJ Lee. I was a big fan back in the day. I think that she is someone that can tell some really good stories, because her and Caitlyn was a good story. I think her with Paige was a bit weird as a story, but I thought the way that they brought Paige in and did the shock title change, and like AJ's reaction to that, was very good. I think that AJ and Daniel Bryan, and then her going and becoming a GM, and her with Dolph Ziggler, and, you know, if you give her something that's not just match promo, and actually give her some stories, she is good enough to carry the weight of those. She can actually do a really good job of telling those. So you've brought AJ back. Her strength is not matches. I mean, you can look on Cage Match and see she's got loads of 5s and 6s. But again, I go back to what opportunity did she have at that time, when women's wrestling was not the priority. They were just being thrown out there, just, you know, have a quick match, just to get them on TV, really. So, you know, I think that her best work now should be now. You know, I think her best matches, I don't know that she's had her best match yet. I don't know that AJ Lee's best WWE match has took place yet. I would hope it hasn't, because there are no excuses now as to why she can't deliver, better than what she's delivered before. Because they give women more opportunity now. Women can have singles PLE matches that get given time and a build and matter. And so she needs to get the ring rust off. But then, yes, I would expect her to deliver her best match. And really, for me, I'm not expecting 5-star matches out of her. She's never given us that before. But can we get a 4-star match out of her? I don't know that we've had a 4-star match. I certainly don't think we've had a 4-2-5. Can we get some of that level? That's what I'd be looking for. Not on a regular basis, just once in a while. And then hopefully everything else, 3.5, 3.75 range, right? In regards to where she really shines, that is her character work. That's her promos. That's her character work. Give her something to get her teeth into. And yes, the concern next year is, are the creative going to do that? And the reason why that's the concern is because we've just sat here and said, I don't think Tiffany is really doing much at the moment that's that compelling. I don't think the Raw tag division is that great. I don't think that Dominic has had loads whilst being Intercontinental Champion. And you just sort of go down a list of going, well, the John Cena heel turn was underwhelming. The Vision feel like they're very undercooked. I know you've got to give them time, but they do feel undercooked. Like, I don't know, man. Are we going to have the creative there for AJ to really shine? Because that's what I think she does best. So that is a concern. I can only hope, to be honest. I can only hope. Next year is about hope. Next year is about keeping fingers crossed that the issues with WWE get resolved. You know, the Vision are in a better place and can carry more weight and make the shows more unmissable. That we've got something that can replace the John Cena retirement tour. That Cody's second title run is going to be more creative than his first title run. But it keeps coming back to them, like, actually, you know, doing the job. I don't know if they didn't just rely too much on John's retirement run this year, and it hasn't quite worked with him being heel. And as a result, it's left us with kind of underwhelming shows. So, I don't know. There's a lot of problems. It's not just one thing, to be honest, but the first thing to fix would be the top end of the card. Right, there we go. We're done. We could stay and keep talking and keep chatting for a long time, but yes, there'll be plenty of opportunity to do that. So I'm going to run away, grab some tweets, get working on Unseen, and then I need to start working on tomorrow's members game. Don't forget, we'll be back on Friday. I think we all know, just to put a bow on that conversation, that WWE in 2025 is not where it was in recent years. We know there are problems there. The other thing we know, though, is that we've been here before many times where wrestling dips and then comes back. I can't sit here and tell you that the comeback is next year. Can't tell you that. I can tell you that I'm hoping it is, but I can't tell you it's going to be. It might be in 2 years. It might be in 3 years. I don't know when we're back to like how good it was the past few years. I don't know that we're a million miles away from it. I think we can definitely have some quick fixes and take some big steps forward quite easily. But getting a storyline that's as captivating as the Bloodline story, that's going to be the challenge. That's where things are going to be difficult. How do you create a story as captivating as the Bloodline story? That's a challenge. I think it's a challenge that if you work in creative, you should relish. That's a challenge that you should be excited by. If you're not excited by that challenge, you're in the wrong job if you're in creative. So that's what they need to try and work on. So, yes. Mayor Pete said Bloodline was all-timer. Completely agree. Yeah, completely agree. I really think it's maybe the greatest story. I mean, you've got Undertaker Kane, which obviously is a lot of people's favorite story. Daniel trying to, get that title and everything he went through with the Authority. That's another one. Some would say like Stone Cold and Mr. McMahon. I mean, that's right up there as well. I mean, there's loads of great stories, but yeah, no denying Bloodline is right up there as well. So tricky to try and replace that, to be honest, but that's the challenge. So right, thank you for joining us and sharing your thoughts and having a little chat about where we are with WWE right now. We obviously will be back, as we said, on Friday with SmackDown and also AAA. And then, of course, we're back on Saturday with the boxing. So look after yourselves. Have a good evening. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now.